Hi, welcome to moving edition of my life. Everything is packed, and in 2 days the movers come to pack everything up. I finished Love's Infinity Garden. I think that I birthed this diamond painting, and I want to show you because I think I've worked harder on this diamond painting than any other diamond painting I've ever done. Here it is, Love's Infinity Garden by Chuck Pinson. I finished this in just over a month. I started this guy on June 6th of 2025 and I finished on July 6th of 2025. This was not a I'm going to diamond paint for an hour a night type of canvas. This was I'm going to diamond paint for 5 hours a day type of canvas. I took a few days off, but it was a solid month of work to get this one done. This is my 11th finish of 2025, my 16th finish of all time. It has over 100,000 drills. It had 56 colors. It is 36.6 by 27.6 inches or 93 by 70 centimeters. And I also used the enhancement pack that I got from DP with Sparklers. And I think this turned out amazing. I think it turned out really well, actually. I think that my reigning champion kit, which name is escaping me right now, that has a fox in it, Good Tidings Fox, is going to have a run for its money in the next quarter review. This was the first time that I had ever worked on a kit that I used an enhancement pack on, and I'm definitely going to be doing that again. I thought it really made it fun, and I'm going to show you some of these enhancements as we go through. I started this kit on the bottom right and worked my way from right to left up each column. Most days I did 3 squares in order to get done. I seriously really wanted to get this diamond painting done before we moved. As I said, the movers will be here to pack up our stuff in less than 48 hours. I will be throwing this in the trunk of my car and we will see how it fares on its trip to Montana. Let's talk about some of those enhancement drills. I zoomed in a little bit more so that I can take you through the enhancement package drills, and I am going to zoom in even closer so you can kind of see how they came out. There was a ton of confetti in this kit, a ton. I didn't find it to be super annoying though, because I saw how beautiful the kit was coming out as I was working through it. So the first enhancement drill that I used was this metallic rouge, this kind of pinkish AB, and that was used quite a bit on flowers. So let me zoom in and show you a little bit of where. Here's an example of where those sparklers, or I'm not sure if they're called sparklers, but that metallic rouge that we just went through they were in these flowers. And I think that they add a ton of shine and dimension. Next, we had this crystal drill, which is like a gold color and absolutely beautiful. I'm going to hang on to these because I had a decent amount left over. These were all over, but the most concentrated portion was in the sky. So as you can see, if it comes into focus here, right here, these are all those crystal drills. Now, I will say that these were kind of a pain to work with, this particular crystal. I felt like there was more gapping with these than there were with any of my other drills, but I mean, I'm being very picky because as you can see, all the other drills fit together perfectly. And I guess now that I look at this when it's finished, it is not as gappy as I kind of thought it was as I was working on it. There's another big chunk over here. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of waviness, but it looks great. So that was another great enhancement, in my opinion. Next, we have another crystal, this 452. And so this particular crystal was used quite a bit in the water and in the waterfall. And I thought it gave a lot of movement. And I really enjoyed this one. As you can see, where's my finger? It's always hard to find your finger on the screen here. Hello. Okay. So you see right here, all those are the kind of that silver crystal. And let me just zoom out so you can see. You can notice how it looks in the water a little bit. It's in this waterfall right here. And it's not as evident, like, it doesn't stick out so much, but let me just move it a little bit, see if that helps pick up any of that additional crystal reflection. But it just looked, it looks great. And it blends in. It doesn't jump out like a sore thumb, which I appreciated. All right, next, I'm gonna show you 3 different enhancement drills that were used in this. This was a kind of a ruby red sparkler. This was a violet colored sparkler, and I'm not sure what this one's called, but it was like a blue, kind of like a pearl. And these were used in flowers, and it made these flower portions so confetti heavy, but it was worth it. So let's look a little bit closer here. So along the edge of the canvas on this side, you can see some of these ruby colored sparklers, and you can pick them out because they're round, and it really enhanced down here. Look at how pretty it is, how much it enhanced these flower portions. So that's an example of the red sparklers. Now the violet sparklers, there might have even been more of, oh, I need to show you this part. Up here, this tree had so many of these red, if I can get it in the frame here, had so many of these red sparklers up in this upper right corner. Look at how it added that depth of the deeper red. I loved it. And I really liked placing those. That was fun. I don't know why. I guess it was because it was around in a square kit. And so you can see here some of the violets, again, those round. And then over here are those little beautiful blue pearlescent kind of circles. Those were my favorite. I wish there would have been more. I had like an entire bag left over. I will also say that I didn't run out of any of the enhancement pack drills, and I had quite a bit extra for each of them, which I was very pleased with. Next, I want to show you the pixie dust that were in this enhancement pack. There was this 469, kind of a grass green, and then we also had this 3863 that was a tan color. And obviously the grass, it's pretty easy to tell where those were. Okay, so it's these lighter greens, and it made the grass, especially here on the bottom, right under these rocks, like that grass. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, I'm already zoomed in as much as I can. But look at, it's these, not the super light ones. Those were ABs that were part of the kit, but it's this kind of a, you can't see how shimmery they are right here, but it's these, the medium. And I hope my head wasn't in that shot, because when you're 2 days away from moving, you look a hot mess. Now, as far as these pixie dust went, I will say, I can't really tell where they are. I know they were scattered throughout, but it's not something I can point out. I don't think those added as much. I would say of all the enhancement drills, those added the least amount, because as I'm sitting here, I can't tell you where they are. Next, I have this glitter enhancement drill that was number 317. As you can see, it kind of has a gold glitter on top of it. Now, I had a love-hate relationship with this. I'll show you an example of where it is here at the bottom in the center. And I think it does a lot to enhance. Like, look at that gold. It's beautiful, right? I hated working with these. They did not stick. They did not stick very well to my pen. Some of them were stuck together. Like when they were manufactured, they hadn't been fully separated. So they were I had a love-hate relationship with them because I thought they turned out really beautifully, but they were also my nemesis. And then I also had this crystal drill, which was like a grayish crystal. And there was quite a bit of this one. Let me show you where. This canvas is so big, it's hard to do this, y'all. But, okay, so right here, there's this darker crystal. And so it was right there. It was used in the water as well. So there was a lot of that silver crystal next to this, and I thought it turned out extremely well. I want to also talk about kind of my let me get zoomed out so you can see the whole kit, because I've gone through all the enhancement drills as far as they came in that package. The kit did actually come with an additional 5 ABs and 1 fairy dust. So I mean, it already had quite a few enhancements. Let's see if I can get this where I want it to be. Hold, please. Sorry if you can hear the lawnmower. My husband, we sold both of our lawnmowers. My husband's like borrowing the neighbors right now to do a final cut of the lawn. So I couldn't really wait to film this. All right, so this is a really hard thing to tell you what kind of my favorite parts of this were, but I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna try to come up with something that was my least favorite too, because I really enjoyed this kit, y'all. So I just dug around in my house because I wanted to have something to use as a pointer to point out some things to you in this canvas. And here's what I came up with. A spoon. So, you know, things that you use when you have your entire life packed up already. Okay, so I really enjoyed all these little flower portions. So right here, down in this corner, up on this side, all along here. It was very confetti heavy, but it was so much fun to use all those little enhancement drills, and then also the drills, the ABs that came with this kit were largely in the flowers. So I mean, these flower sections just stand out, right? So I really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed the waterfall, doing the waterfall with all those crystal drills, and I think it worked out really well. I also enjoyed doing this, whatever we're calling it, gazebo, although I know there's a more technical term, because this part went really fast. That was like the fastest part of the diamond painting. There's a lot of line blocking down here that went fairly fast in the river too, but for whatever reason, maybe because I started at the bottom, I just didn't appreciate the speed at which that went. By the time I got up here, I was able to move really quickly. I had already been working on this kit for probably 2-3 weeks, and so I could appreciate moving through that quickly. I would say my least favorite part of this diamond painting was probably all the line blocking in the river. It got a little boring down in this section. There was a few enhancement drills, like there's some gold enhancement drills right here, which quite frankly, I don't really know why they're there. I don't think they add a lot there. And then I loved, let me pull it down so you can see the full sky here. I loved the way the sky turned out and these trees up here, but this was a lot of confetti right here in these trees. And I love how they turned out. I think it was worth it in the end, but by that point I was almost finished with the diamond painting, and it was a lot. Like I was ready to be done. As I zoom in on it, you can really see how much confetti was there. And then also over here in this top sky portion, there was a lot of line blocking. which you would think, because that was the very end of me working on this kit, would have been helpful. But because it was like so many crystals, and these are these light yellow were the fairy dust that came with the kit, and because they were light colors, I was mostly single placing that. So I was checkerboarding those, try to keep them looking nice, trying to avoid being sloppy towards the end, because if you're anything like me, when you get down to the end of these diamond paintings, especially these really big ones, sometimes you're kind of over it, right? And so as much as I enjoyed this diamond painting, I was ready to be finished by the end. This was a large diamond painting that took me a ton of time. Now, I appreciated probably that this was a landscape more than I thought I would. If y'all know, when I started diamond painting, I thought all I would do was landscapes, which is how I ended up with quite a few of them. But I have done less of them. I have quite a few I have quite a few landscapes in my stash because they are kind of intimidating. Like, there's so much confetti. They're always usually large. There's not these little vignettes. So you kind of have to be in the right mood, I think, to start one of these. And I was when I worked on this. And I'm so happy that I did it. But I think, just trying to think of what I have coming up. But I'm hoping I don't have another giant landscape for at least a month or two, because I think I need a little break. One other thing I wanted to point out was there's a little gate right here that I didn't even notice when I was diamond painting. I just noticed that after I finished it. I finished this diamond painting late last night, and so right now is kind of the first time I'm looking at it in the day. The other thing I wanted to point out, it's kind of one of those diamond paintings that every time you look at it, you see new things. But look at how cool this cobblestone or whatever this is that's around the gazebo looks. It just came out so well. And that's one of those things where you're diamond painting, you have no idea kind of how it's coming together until you finish that part, and you realize it just looks so amazing. So that is Chuck Pinson's Love's Infinity Garden. I am entering this. I need to take a picture so I can upload it into Summer's 100,000 Drills of Summer event. And that's the review. This one, I do believe, this one unfortunately has been discontinued. But again, look for a video coming up where we look at what's available on DP with sparklers, figure out what would look really nice, and try to do another diamond painting with an enhancement pack, because it was fun. It was fun, y'all. I highly recommend. I was not big on trying out an enhancement pack, especially because it adds a lot of cost. I think it was like another $40 for this enhancement pack on top of what was probably already a $70 diamond painting. But had I not been really pushing to finish this one, it probably would have easily provided 2 months of entertainment to me. So I don't think that that's too bad. But that's the review for this one. If you can find a Chuck Pinson with a enhancement pack, I highly recommend checking it out. If it's anything like this one, you'll have a good time. I'm gonna go pack up my car and try to remember to take a picture of the ridiculous number of diamond paintings in it, see if I can even fit them in. Until next time, thanks for checking out the video, y'all. Happy diamond painting.